I started kind of giving him game on insurance, and I told him, I said, you can buy wealth until you build wealth. And I was telling him the importance of insurance. A lot of people think that, you know, creating generational wealth is some strenuous job and you just got to overthink it. No, generational wealth is giving your children options past when you're not here. So with insurance, you can buy it. It's done. Wealth is there for the next generation. So I began to tell him my structure of how I set up my family to be worth over $490 million by our fourth generation, never using anything but insurance.
Yeah, go on and share that, brother. All right, welcome to another edition of the Social Proof Podcast, where we find people who have social proof, not people that just talk about it, because it's easy to talk about it, right? Because every social media platform will give you an account, and you can say whatever you want to. And you can put any link in your bio and tell people that you are an amazing coach, and you don't even have to have any results. I feel like there should be some sort of law against that. That's why we created the Social Proof Podcast, where we find the dopest people that actually built something, and not just cool people that built something, but people who can actually teach how to do what they did. So we got some very, very special guests, man. I want to just say that y'all are really making noise. And Jake, I just met you, but Brother Ben X, he built a huge following, then lost his account, and built that joint right back. Some people lose their mind when that happens.
You know definitely can.
So I'm gonna let y'all just kind of introduce yourself to the world, to those that don't know, and then we're gonna jump into it.
Well, I'm a student of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Started off as a basketball player. Thought I was, All-American back in the day.
Man.
Yeah, I did. We did get whooped. We did get whooped.
Hey,
you lose some, you win some.
Y'all go every week.
I gotta expect that to come out, and I can't just let that ride, because y'all boys came down to Atlanta and it went down.
Y'all was hot. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all was definitely hot, especially the little brother had on the red.
Bro, we're shooting from half court.
Right.
But I got into. I was an only child. My first time seeing my biological father was in his casket. Recall seeing my biological mother once. So I was raised by my mom, but technically it's my biological mother's cousin. I got 21 biological
Hold on. So the first time you seen your biological father was in a casket, and you didn't know your biological mother?
I didn't know her like that. I seen her maybe one time around the age of 5.
Really?
Yeah.
Have you seen her since then?
They both dead.
You seen your mom, your biological father no times alive, and your actual biological mother one time.
Yeah, I can recall, like, maybe it's not vivid. It's like vague.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you ever like have questions about?
Yeah, I did. More so about my father. I always tried to look for pictures of him and search for him on Google and things of that nature, but I never could find anything. I just recently found another, because I was about to get into, I got 21 biological brothers and sisters. And I only knew of 6 of them. Now I know of 7 of them. 2 of them I know because they was at the funeral of the biological father. 4 of them I know because I used to go to East Texas. They lived together. 3 of them lived together in East Texas. 1 stayed in Fort Worth. And then we would all go visit our big brothers and sister up in East Texas, and that's how we kind of got to know each other. So we would talk on the phone from here and there, and we get together like now and have game night. So us 4 are solid together. Us 5 are solid together. 1 I just found on Facebook because I recently again had an urge to look him up again, and I found his death certificate, my biological father, and of course all the names of the children is on there. So I'm Facebooking all of the names, and I end up finding one of them, and then I hit him up. I said, "Man, I think you're my brother," and then he was like, "Yeah." He said something funny. He was like, "Yeah, you are," and we ended up talking, and so we finally got on a phone call recently. And he was just telling me certain things. And here's the crazy thing about it. I literally just found this out. Of course, I'm in the Nation of Islam. My biological father, he said, was an official pimp. But he began, he said, "Do you know my name is a Muslim name?" And he said, "Do you know we was raised Muslim?" And he said, yeah, we used to starve, and he's talking about Ramadan. We don't eat while the sun is up, and we used to do the prayers and things of that nature.
We used to starve ourselves.
He said we used to go through the prayers and everything like that. And he said we was one of those, racist kind of Muslim where he was saying that white people was devils and all that. I said, are you serious? So he was on literally that path that I'm on now. But I guess, he kind of lost his way or whatever and became what he was. But that was the path that they start off on growing up. So I'm learning a little bit about him now.
He's
through my
not
biology.
on that path anymore.
No.
Gotcha.
Well, he's dead.
Right.
My biological father's
Okay, I
dead.
thought you
Yeah,
were
he's
talking
not
about
Muslim no more.
Gotcha.
He's not Muslim no more. But
Can I ask you real quick though? In the belief, are white people considered devils?
Well, it's the nature, and it's more so about the nature of their history that they had and making us dumb, deaf, and blind, putting us through slavery. So at that time, it's a shock teaching to get us to look in the mirror, not only ourselves, but the white man as well. So it's causing them now to look in the mirror, and if you're not a devil, then prove it. So when we say devil, it's not just because this is, a skin color type thing, because we know as the black man, the original man, you can create all different shades. So in our lessons, it talks about why does Muhammad or any Muslim murder the devil? Well, if you have a surface level of knowledge, you may say, okay, well, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that the white man was the devil. Then in our lessons, it say, why does any Muslim murder the devil, bring 4 heads of a devil? You may think that means go kill 4 white people, but that's not what it means. It's talking about destroy the wicked mindset inside of your head. He said any grafted thing can be a devil. So whenever we have a grafted thoughts or our thoughts is contrary to the will of God, that's what really has to be killed. His mindset, that wicked mindset to rule and really have a mindset that where you want to, or what it talks about in the Quran, Satan makes evil first seeming. So when you have a world where he makes evil first seeming and he uses deceptive intelligence and subliminal messages causing us to eat the wrong food, that's grafted. Shoot, the water's grafted. Everything is grafted in this world. And this is a world that they are creating that it's not been pretty good for black people. They even have literal laws that has been against black people thriving, like as far as you getting land. You can't even have land that is a producing land or fertile land, things of that nature. I just read a book called Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews that we produced that actually quotes rabbis. And one of them talked about how even back then, they had laws against us having real estate, and they wanted us to always be tied to a white man being his employee, things of that nature. So when we talk about the white man being a devil, it is to cause the black man who saw himself as inferior and the white man who saw himself as superior, put it in their face and show the black man who he really is as an original man of the planet Earth, being that the white man only been here a little over 6,000 years, not because of a theory, but you have those who even in Mendel's law and anthropologists can show you that they don't trace back more than 6,000 years. And for those who thought that they were superior just because of their race, he put it in front of them, well, you've been doing nothing but wickedness. So the hell that you put us through, there's nothing under the ground that's going to treat us worse than what you treated us here on Earth.
Okay. I always wanted to ask, because I never really asked the question, because you hear it sometimes, right? Like, what is the thought? Like, when you see somebody that is white, like, do you think, like, yo, that's the devil? But that makes sense.
Well, it's about knowing the nature of it. It's not saying that this person is an evil person, because we also taught that evil is a bad name after faith. So if that person shows himself to submit his will to do the will of God, we don't call that person, necessarily a devil, but it's about the nature. Muhammad Ali said one time, if I seen 10,000 snakes coming at me at one time, I'll tell the story like this. He said, I don't know if Muhammad Ali told this story or not, but if you're teaching your sons to go out there and play with some snakes, if your son is immature and he's not mature enough to tell the difference between a rattlesnake or a poisonous snake and a grass snake, you don't go try to tell the son, hey man, this one right here is a good snake and this one right here is a bad snake. You say leave them all alone. And after you leave them all alone, shoot, you ain't got to worry about your son being killed or bitten by any of them or poisoned by any of them. And then as he grows older, now you can start to decipher and show which one is this, which one is that. But at the end of the day, they both still are snakes at the end of the day.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So, yeah, proceed. I'm sorry in the introduction.
Where was I at? So the 21 biological brothers and sisters, I end up finding that out about him. And the reason I bring up this story and who I am, because this is what pushed me into me doing videos because I'm naturally an introvert because I grew up as the only child. I always wanted like a brother and sister around, but I never had that. And because I didn't have that, and you know, I wasn't necessarily an open person like with anybody who didn't, you know, that I wasn't around. If you didn't play basketball, I pretty much didn't talk to you. And so because I was at home and I wanted those brothers and sisters that I knew I had with me, but I couldn't, I created characters. So when y'all see my skits, that stemmed from me having conversations literally with myself. I created imaginary friends that I would talk to, and I would have conversations in my head. And whenever somebody like made me mad, I would play that person in the skit, and I'm talking to them, you know, just expressing myself. That was my way of venting. That was my way of getting my words out because I didn't, you know, pronounce words loud back in the day. I was very quiet. They would always say, what you say, speak louder. And so that was my way to express myself with, you know, personality, with humor and things of that nature. So I literally have videos where you can even see both of myself in the screen talking to myself. And as I did that, I started off learning how to edit videos by playing basketball. When I played basketball, I would do my own highlights. I didn't wait for Baller's Life to come out, although I got on Baller's Life eventually. I didn't wait for them to come out. My mama got me a camera. I learned how to edit my own videos, and then I started doing skits. And then after I joined the Nation of Islam in 2015, I started to get more wisdom. I started to get more knowledge, and then I had something to actually share. And then I started to break down current events. And when I would break down current events, I would tie back into the teachings and show how it was relevant and show how he has even given us guidance or how we have the solution to whatever problem that I'm presenting. Because I believe in the news, we always talking about the problem. Even today, it's the problem, it's the problem, it's the problem. But what is the solution to the problem? So with my platform, I always want to tie the problem to the solution so that you can have a whole message that you can look to. And then it literally blew up from there. I have over 500 million views on Facebook. I had over 40 million YouTube views before I got terminated. I had over 146.
You got terminated from YouTube too?
Yeah.
Well, I shut down your Instagram and your Facebook?
No, my Instagram didn't get shut down.
It was your YouTube.
It's my YouTube that got shut down. I built that back up. My Facebook, I'm just always in prison over there, so I'm just always in jail.
Why? First off, why did your YouTube get shut down?
Well, my YouTube got shut down for hate speech. They didn't tell me what video it was. I didn't have no strikes at the moment. They just said hate speech. I'm literally speaking in Austin at the time. As I'm driving back home, a brother hits me and say, bro, your YouTube channel is gone. I said, man, here you go playing. I ain't got time to be playing. So I'm driving home and I try to click on a video because, you know, I sent links out. So when I click the video, it says this YouTube channel has been terminated. I try to hit YouTube. It's the computer hit me back with some general message. So to this day, I still don't know what video it was, what was said. And so the whole YouTube video is gone. I literally used my YouTube as a hard drive. So I had so many unlisted videos on there, college videos, stuff people never seen that I was just saving. And all that's gone. I have no way of getting it back. And I just had to build it back up. But I think that was a beautiful experience for me because it was my main stream of income. So it did hit me, but I didn't let that pretty much deter me. But what it showed me was I wasn't doing it for money. Because if I was spreading that message for money, I would have said, man, there's no reason for me to be back on YouTube. But immediately I got right back on YouTube with the same exact message because I know I was helping people and giving life to the dead on YouTube. So that kind of was confirmation that I was doing it for the right reason. And then as I was growing, I was always sharing my journey along the way. I was sharing when my car broke down. I was showing when I got a car. I was showing when that car broke down. And people started to see me grow online without talking about negative things because around that time, people thought the best way to grow on YouTube is to get on World Star from knocking somebody out or doing something crazy or doing pranks. And they didn't see doing something positive and giving informative game as a way to actually grow online. But I was like, you can do it. And so when I began to do it and I was creating content, I was being creative, I was doing skits, I was growing on all these platforms. So they know it ain't no fluke because he got a platform on multiple platforms. People start to ask me questions. I'm talking about in my comment sections, in my DM. So I decided to make a course. And once I made that course, I got a couple people in. They started to get results. It wasn't as big as it was right now with digital real estate, but I had the results from those who actually came in. Then when I got with Brother Jake, to make a long story short, we got together, created digital real estate, made it digital real estate with the name. And once we put the testimonies out there with the free game, it blew up from there.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. So, Jake, if you could introduce yourself as well, man.
Yeah, my name is Jake. From Dallas, Texas. I grew up with my stepmom and my dad. My stepmom started taking care of me since I was 2 years old. It wasn't that my mom died or my biological mom died or anything. She was just 19 with 2 kids. And my stepmom she married my father. And I like to call myself a financial and business enthusiast. I learned business from my grandfather, which is my stepmom's dad. And I used to go with
grandfather, which is your stepmom's dad.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, gotcha.
And he was the first millionaire I ever met, and also the first millionaire I ever met lose everything.
Really?
Yes. He was,
what game was he in?
Taxes.
Taxes.
Yeah.
He was doing taxes.
Yeah. He had 2 locations. He was bought out by Jackson Hewitt, and he was Santa Claus to the hood, and
so he's bought out by Jackson Hewitt. Obviously, he has all this money now.
No, he was already generating $1 million a year. Then he got bought out by Jackson Hewitt. Then he got in some trouble. Then he had to pay the fees back, and he ain't got nothing out.
How'd he get in trouble?
Taxes.
I was hoping that wasn't the answer. Like the tax man got in tax trouble. That's crazy. Okay.
Yeah, taxes. Taxes. Yeah, but I got to see what black excellence could look like. I used to like walking into restaurants, and sometimes we wouldn't even have to pay for food. Because everybody would be like, oh, that's Mr. Fisher. So we would come down, Mr. Fisher, oh, that's Little Fish. What you want? We'll sit down, and at the end, my papa would try to pull out his billfold to pay. Oh, no, sir, no, sir, no, sir. You did this, and such and such and such from my brother. And a lot of people were enamored about what my grandfather, how much he made, and I was enamored about the connections that he had that were so deep that people said, man, because you did this for my son or for this, you ain't never got to worry about nothing like that. So that's what kind of taught me impact with there. And then as I kind of started to get older, of course you stop wanting to spend time with your grandparents because you're older now, you want to go do whatever. And my dad taught me lending. My dad never trusted the banks ever. Never, I'm talking about never trusted the banks. And for him, he said it doesn't make sense. Why would I give the bank $5,000 to put in a savings account, and then when I want to ask them, can I borrow $5,000? They can use that $5,000 I got as collateral. I got to go through all this paperwork, and they still deny me. And my dad was like, why not take the money just like the banks and start lending money? So I got to witness my dad had like a notepad with everybody that owed him. He was making $4,000 to $8,000 a month, lending money on interest alone, from working at the Dallas Morning News. So I got to see him go collect from people. Wow. So I saw my grandfather build an actual organization, and I saw my dad actually make money lending. And this is all important to the story of my upbringing. And so when I saw that he lost his job at the Dallas Morning News because of 2008, 2007, around that time. And I saw my mom crying in the kitchen. And when I saw her crying in the kitchen, I already kind of knew it was something to do with money, because my parents never hid nothing from us. They was pretty open and candid because we knew we were poor. Yeah. And I tell people all the time, Shans, that the worst poor to be is poor in the middle class, because everybody's expecting for you to have money. Yeah. So all your real friends are in the hood, but they got more money than you. And then in the suburbs, everybody had like throwback jerseys, and it was tight. And I was getting my jerseys from Dollar General. So at Dollar General, it's called the General jersey.
What?
It was red. It was like a football jersey. It had the number 15 on it.
A random number 15.
Yeah. And I used to get my clothes from Dollar General. And I went to school one day, and I got roasted so bad.
I bet.
But it taught me resilience. It taught me to live based on what you need. Coming into a house, my brother's been blind since birth, and seeing my brother, who had a 1% chance to live, seeing how he took advantage of all things in life. So he had a 1% chance to live, wasn't supposed to walk, has autism, been blind since birth. But this dude is literally changing the remote and watching TV blind. You know the channels. You know how to call people on the phone. No, like this is how he operates. He's completely independent. So kind of seeing that grow up and seeing how he took life, I just got to just grab from so many different elements. So when my father lost his job, 2007, 2008, I picked up selling candy. I saw a guy by the name of Bab at a T, but he was selling candy. He was the only one that was gonna let me come work for him. And I knew I didn't know the candy business, so I sat under Bab, and he taught me the game of how to sell candy, but I realized that a lot of people who were selling candy were sloppy.
How old were you at this point?
I was like 14. I graduated at 17. I was like 15, 16, like 15, 16. And I saw that he was selling candy. I knew what he was doing, and I needed to learn the game because I needed to make money. And long story short, I sold for him for about a week or maybe 2 weeks. And I realized that none of the kids really took inventory. They never looked at the numbers. They never looked at any of that. But I learned from my dad the importance of counting numbers and knowing who all owed you. Yeah. And so I was stealing candy from Bab. I was eating his candy. He didn't even know. So as long as I brought him back at least $50, he was cool. So I realized, okay, this is gonna be a nice little squeeze because all of these kids out here just doing it for extra fun, I'm gonna have to do it for money. So I went to my papa and I said, Papa, I need $150. He said, for what? I told him why. He took me to Costco, gave me $150 for candy, took the candy, made $300 that next day. $300 next day, paid my papa back to $150, went and re-up on Costco, did it again. Long story short, we got up to, what I realized was, Shan, that there are 7 periods in a day at school. We only had 5-minute passing periods. So that's only 35 minutes I could sell candy.
5-minute passing periods?
Yes.
What do you mean?
So like when the bell rings, going from one class to the next class, you got 5 minutes in between. So with 7 periods, 5 minutes in between, that's only 35 minutes that you have to sell. I knew at that age, if I'm selling out a bag of candy myself, I wonder how much I could sell if I had 10 people moving work for me.
And you're running these numbers at 14, 15.
Yes, but it's because I tell people you become what you're exposed to. So I saw my papa running a company. Yeah. He had over 30 employees. I saw my dad. Yes, he was by himself, but he knew all of his numbers. Yeah. And I guess those exposures kind of were able to do it. And then when I finally got to meet I started going around my biological mother, who she was married to at the time, had 2 barbershops. And he had people working for him, cutting hair in the barbershops and paying him back his stuff. So I got exposed to people who were kind of doing something, right?
I think that's the thing about our community is we just lack exposure. Yeah. And the only thing we're exposed to, we try to become, whether it's rapper or the dude down the corner, we know he got the chains, he got the girls, he got the cars. Yeah. And we're like, yo, whatever I gotta do to look like that and have all that, that or this is what success looks like. So I gotta do whatever they did to be successful. So I think that's why it's important. And I know all of us probably go to the schools and just expose the kids to look what entrepreneurship looks like. Entrepreneurs can wear hoodies. We don't gotta be the tight businessman, and we don't have to do the wrong thing. So that's amazing. That's crazy. You learned the numbers from you. Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, if we have more time, I'll be able to go. But so in school, in my head, I'm like, okay, I need one more person, because one more person, 35 plus 35, that's 70 minutes, which is why I fell in love with MLM, because of how you could scale time. Yeah. And when people say it's impossible to scale time, I say that's a lie, because it's called human capital. You work through people to get a job done, just exactly how God does. None of us have seen God in the flesh, but we see him through the works of people. So if you understand how to move your work through people, you don't have to be the person that's in the front of the room if you're the person moving your message through people to get to the front of the room. So when I was in school, I said, man, boom. So I put my best friend on, boom, sell a bag. Well, I knew after one day, I said, let me see how much he eats out the bag. He ate about $5 worth. So it's a funny story. I didn't know what I was doing, but I created what's called now a compensation package. So I wrote out the inventory because I realized, so let him know I knew how much was in there. And I said if he sold out the bag, he could have all of these things, $5 worth. That was what he was going to steal from me anyway. But he felt like I was giving to him, so he was selling out the bag before the end of the day. Like halfway through the periods, at like 4th period. He never would have done that before. But because I said, if you sell out the bag, you can have $5 worth of inventory that you can eat or do whatever with. He sold in a fourth period, which told me, well, if I create that incentive, he can sell 2 bags for me. So it was just me and him. He sold 2 bags, and my bag was for the security guards. What I realized is that a lot of the kids, they were getting tough with the security guards, not realizing the security guards were the gatekeepers. So I got cool with the security guards, and I started buying the security guards exactly what they wanted. So my bag was only for the security guards. So my friend, he was moving. I was going to the security guards like, boom, 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 boom.
That's crazy.
And so
that's crazy. You're calculating all this in high school.
I don't know how though. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like it was intentional. I'm just observing, and so doing the observing, I'm doing that, and it was a lady by the name of Miss Davis. She was the assistant principal, and so one day I went up to Miss Davis, and she got my best friend's bag. And she knew it was my bag. So I went to Miss Davis. When I got to Miss Davis, she was like, Jacobs, what are you doing? They're like, da, 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 da. And I told her my situation. I was just honest. I said, ma'am, a lot of these kids are doing it because they want to. I'm doing it because I need to. And she was like, okay, this is the game. She literally gave me the game. So Miss Davis became my best ally. She and the security guards would go confiscate all of the competitors' candy.
What?
And then give it to me at the end of the day.
That's crazy.
And so I would take the candy, repackage it, and then I started to employ the people that can't even take it. I swear to God. So in Cedar Hill, I had 10 people moving candy for me, and most people didn't even know that it was my candy that was being moved. And so we got to that, and then we ended up going to DeSoto, Lancaster, and Duncanville, which are the high schools that were around. But a lot of people don't even know a lot of the candy that was being moved was my candy. And so in high school, got up to $4,000 a month selling candy net after everybody got paid and we re-up on candy.
Yeah, that experience, you'll never be, like, a child like that, you're never gonna be comfortable working a job.
No, so this is the deal. So you go play basketball. My dad like, all right, you gotta go hoop now. You gotta go play college ball. So I went to play college ball. Best thing that ever happened to me, I tore my ACL my senior year of college. And I always tell them, I tell people documentation rules the nation. After I tore my ACL, I went to a pro combine in LA. I was the #1 point guard there. Believe it or not, I was the #1 point guard there. I believe it or not.
If I can subscribe to that.
I got the news. I got the news clippings for you. I got the news clippings. Believe it or not. After I tore my ACL, but when I tore
what's so crazy? Real quick, I'm sorry to stop the story, but I understand why you guys are running a 7-figure company now, because it seems like nothing that happens that appears negative is negative, but it's the best thing that happened. So Ben said, yo, I lost my YouTube channel. Best thing that ever happened to me. Yeah. You say, I tore my ACL. Best thing that ever happened to me. Like, that mindset has to be developed. How did y'all develop that? And I want you to finish your story, but I want to hear from both y'all. How do you develop that mindset of, this is the best thing that ever happened to me? Or is it always hindsight?
Hindsight for me. You don't know it's the best thing when it's happening. You just like, we were poor. Yeah. So like, I always go back to, it can't be no worse than how I grew up. Like, nothing in life can be that bad. And I think that my mom always taught us, if you ain't dead, that means you're alive. If you're alive, you need to be doing something. And no matter what happened, if I ain't dead, that means I'm alive. If I'm alive, that means I gotta be doing something. And so I have to be doing something. I have to be progressing. So when I tore my ACL, okay, what's next? I mean, I can't play. Yeah. So what's next? And I don't know. I just think now we think about that regularly. Yeah. But so then when I was younger,
was yours? Yeah. Your experience when you're going through it, did you have this mindset of, yo, the best thing that ever happened, because I know it's on the other side of these type of situations?
For me, it is, I honestly, when I'm going through a situation, I think about the people that I'm going to influence. So to me, I'm only a vessel being used by God, literally. So this is why, I go live when my car breaks down. Some people won't do that. They want to act like they got all the cars and they never went through anything. The reason I think people love me so much is because I go live and say, my car broke down again. I have literally a video where I'm teaching, and I had popcorn ceilings at the time. And so I'm literally, this is a chapter in my book, by the way. I'm going live teaching, and I'm talking about how I want to get a Bentley eventually. And he says, how you gonna get a Bentley, nigga, and you have popcorn ceilings? So me, I screenshot it and post it. hey family, look, he said I'm going to do that. There's going to be chapter 9 in my book, Popcorn Selling. So I always show what looks like a downfall to inspire other people that you could do it as well. So I'm also, I feel like it's like a sacrificial lamb. Like I know I'm going to get through it. Like even when I got married, it's like, I'll be good if I know I can make it happen, but I have to make moves so that they're straight. So whenever I'm going through something, it's like I know I'm going to figure out a way to make it happen because I've always had that mindset. I'm either going to do a YouTube video, I'm going to ask somebody, I'm going to figure out how to make it happen. But other people don't think like that. Other people, I feel like, be like, woe is me. So if I can show y'all if I can show y'all that I can get over it, let me document that process for you and show you that it can happen as well. So even when recently we just started working out, we haven't because we kind of got off schedule with it. But really the reason that really inspired me to start working out is not because I want to be strong and be some big dude or a stronger guy. It's because I want to show the ABS tribe that, bro, it looks easy when we talking about business because this where we are, this where we at now. But let me show you how we're vulnerable with the weights. I'm not the strongest, so let me show you that I can overcome something mentally and physically. So when I'm telling you to push through with making a video that ain't nothing compared for me lifting 225, then when you look at me struggling and you see, damn, he ain't top in this field, but when you see me push through this, the principal's gonna relate that, okay, I need to push through this little easy lesson that he going. So I'm always going through something with other people in mind that if I can get through it, you can too.
Yeah, that muscle wasn't developed in me until after I lost my business the second time. Everything for me was hindsight because I wasn't trying to teach nobody. I was trying to survive. BX different.
So, and I think that's important for people to know that it takes a traumatic situation for you, and then you get over it to start looking forward at a situation that like something's going to happen that is that could potentially be life-changing, right? In all of our futures.
Correct.
But if we've been through it already, if we've been through the worst of it, we know that whatever situation we're going through, our minds are focused on how am I going to get over it.
That's good.
But some people, they're in a situation right now and they haven't got over that initial hump to realize that the next thing, I'll get over that too, right? So what advice would you have for somebody that is going through right now? Because it's one thing to say, yo, you'll get past it, you'll get over it. But what is something you could tell somebody that's dealing with something right now?
I would say we have to become grateful for what we have. I think a lot of times we think that we haven't overcame anything because we're not grateful for what we have already overcame. So if I'm in a situation where my YouTube channel gets terminated, and let's say, for example, we do our worst month of the year and we like, what are we gonna do? In my mind, I could easily say, dang, man, how am I gonna overcome this, man? This just too much, man. What are we gonna do? That's because if I feel like this is like hard and I don't think I've ever overcame anything like this, it's because I'm forgetting that my YouTube channel terminated and I overcame and built it back up. So we minimize the value that we have. I don't see that as nothing. Oh, that's just like a little YouTube channel. No, that's something. So many people have lost their channels and didn't bounce back at all. Yeah. So you have to be grateful and value yourself enough to know what you've done in the past to let that be faith in really social proof in a way that you can overcome it in the future or overcome it in your present. So I think a lot of times we are not looking at what God has already allowed us to get over, and because we don't have that gratitude of what we've already overcame and the strength that he's already showed us that we have, we don't realize that we have it. So that's why oftentimes when you actually go to apply it, or you put in a condition where you have to apply it, it's already been there the whole time. You just didn't recognize it.
I think that a lot of us that struggle with getting over our current situations, we only struggle because we don't know our destination. See, if you knew to get here at 7 o'clock for this interview and your car broke down, what would be your next option?
Uber.
If an Uber down, you go to what? Lyft. Right? But when you know your destination and you know the time that you need to get there, how you get there doesn't matter. So you don't look at the problems that are arising in your life. You're trying to get to where you need to go. See, if my wife was on the 3rd floor of an apartment complex and there was a fire, I don't care what's going on that may stop me from getting to her. My only thought process is, how can I find a solution to go rescue my wife who is stuck on the 3rd floor of an apartment complex? I'm going to figure out a way. But it's because I know my destination. My destination, my target is to go save my wife. Everything else don't matter. But the problem that we all are living in is most of us are walking dead. We are walking zombies with no location, no place to go, no home to go to, no destination to reach. So if I don't know where I am going, if I don't know my destiny is hiding in your destination. So if I don't know my destiny that's hiding in my destination, I'm always going to get caught up on the minute things. See, in this building right here, Brother Shan, this building looks big, right? Since we're on the inside. We go step outside, we get real close to the door, the building is still gonna look extremely large. However, if you go 100 meters up in the sky in a helicopter, this building that was once big is now smaller. I go 100 more meters up in the sky, the thing that was small is now like minute. I go 100 more meters up in the sky, what was minute, it's like a little speck in our eye. That's exactly how big our problems are when I'm looking and I know my destination, where I'm going. But if I don't know where I'm going, I'm consumed in my problem, which is now larger than life.
Yeah. Wow.
So a lot of us are just lacking our destination. And when we lack our destination, we don't realize that we'll never find our destiny, because our destiny is hidden in our destination. So my question I typically ask people that have all these problems, where are you going? What is your purpose here?
Yeah.
What are you trying to overcome? What are you trying to accomplish? And 9 times out of 10, most of our answers are, I would just want to be a millionaire.
Yeah.
Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, that's why this is a big problem, because you don't know exactly what you're here, what you're made to do. You don't know why you are here and what we're supposed to be doing, which means, of course, this is a big deal.
Yeah.
But when you know where you're going, ain't no big deal. This is just a part of the process. It's just in my way and I need to overcome it, because the faster I can overcome it will be the faster I can get to where I need to be.
I want to add to that real quick, because I'm thinking now this question from a viewer's mind as entrepreneurs, especially online entrepreneurs. I think when you are going through a problem as an entrepreneur, what could help you is becoming humble enough to seek guidance and realize that you don't know the answer. Yeah. Because I think a lot of times when you have a lot of followers, when you have a lot of followers and people look up to you for a certain thing, you have to come off as if you know everything. Yeah. But when you are humble enough to realize that I don't know this, and there is literally somebody else in business who has been through what you're going through, so you can literally just go read a book or find a mentor, and once you do that, see, because I think a lot of people don't do that is because they want to look so self-made. Yeah. You want to look like, oh man, I never went through any problems. The only way for me to be the guru or your coach is for you to know that I don't go through problems, when I think that will help you out. Like us in the ABS tribe, when we mess up, we go share our mess ups in the ABS tribe. When we tell them, hey man, why you didn't do this assignment, we get on them. But when we didn't do our assignment from our coach, we share with them, hey y'all, we dropped the ball. And this is the consequences. We didn't make this because we didn't listen to our coach. And a lot of people aren't willing to do that, which causes them to look perfect in a way, or they want to look perfect in a way, and this is why you're stuck. And I think that's not just with business, that's with everything in our life. When you don't want to ask for help, when you want to look like you are just the end all be all, like you know everything, your arrogance stops you from seeking the right answers. And then outside of that, like Brother Jake said, whenever you're going through a problem, your destination has to be in mind, and don't look at the problem. And I know it's going to be hard, especially when it's a big problem. You almost have to ignore the problem and focus only on the solution. And I think a lot of times that's very hard. Think about somebody who's homeless, and I'm telling them, bro, don't think about money, think about your purpose. It's hard for you to even conceive that. But as I was teaching on recently, when you can see past money, when you can see past your condition, whenever you achieve that, everything is coming with it. This gonna be maybe a little vulgar, but a lot of men, you looking only for the sex. But if you look past the sex and you look for commitment, the commitment is bigger. The vision that you want to take her on is bigger, but once you get that, the sex is going to eventually come with it. And I think a lot of times in our community, we're focused on the problem, or we focus on this particular thing, but by you focus on this particular thing, it's not going to solve that problem. So if I want more money and I tell you to focus on purpose, you may say, here you go with that philosophy, here you go with this mindset stuff. But if you focus on your purpose of impacting more people by doing that, not focusing on yourself, focus on helping somebody else pay their bill. And you may say, this is crazy. I'm not even paying my bills. How am I going to help him pay his bill? But if you figure out a way to help him pay his bills, he's going to compensate you for that. And if you help enough of them pay their bill, you're going to forget how much your bills even cost. It's going to come with that. So I think that's what they have to do, see past their condition by focusing on a mentor, seeking a mentor, and studying about solutions versus focusing on your problem.
Absolutely. And you guys are kind of telling me about your collaboration, how you came together, and it's phenomenal because you guys started your business together, what, in 2019?
Mm-hmm. Well, he had his, I was doing my thing, and it kind of collaborated together.
Right. But, and so between the time that you two came together, I think you said y'all did 7 figures in 8 months?
Mm-hmm.
Incredible. So was there a conversation where, okay, this is where we're going? Or first off, how did the collaboration happen, first off?
You gonna tell the story?
You can tell. He know how to tell the story best.
So, I'm trying to get more seen, right? Because apparently, I was a Grinch inside of a cave and didn't do any public stuff. So, I was told about an event that was put on in Dallas.
What were you doing?
Running my insurance financial firm.
Gotcha.
That's all I was doing. And I didn't need to be seen because we had direct mail. We were doing leads that way, right?
Successful business.
Yeah. And but thank God I got mentorship on being seen. So got invited to speak on a panel. So it's me and my wife, and we're in the green room. BX is sitting on a white couch, brown suit, with his bow tie.
Mm-hmm. Classic Ben.
Yeah.
Classic
So
Ben.
we walk in, my wife got her heels on, so we gotta sit down. So I say, hey babe, let's go have a seat on this couch right here. So we go sit down on the couch. Ben's sitting like right here. Mm-hmm. We like right here. We sit down.
Did you know who he was?
No. Mm-hmm. I didn't know him, he didn't know me. Mm-hmm. So when we sat down, I said, what's up? He did like that. He just got up and walked to the mirror, did his bow tie like this. I looked at my wife. Yes. I looked at my wife. It was just too, like, you were sitting there comfortable. But when we sat down, you pop up like something shaky.
You know what's funny? If Ben was white, you'd be like, oh man, that's oh, some black people come around, they gonna leave.
Real talk. So it was the same feeling, right?
Right.
So I said, babe, get up real quick. So we both got up. My wife calls me extra, but we both got up, and I said, hey, babe, just go get us something to drink real quick. I just want to see something. Because I'm always observing people. Mm-hmm. He sit down. My wife come back with the drink. I said, babe, let's go sit down again.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear like Ben's side.
I don't remember that.
Sit down.
So we sit down. He get back up. He go back to the mirror, fixing that janky bow tie. And I say, hey, brother, we don't bite. He say, good to know, and walks out the door. That was my first encounter with BS.
What?
So I wasn't fucking with him at all. And everybody in the green room was full of cap. So everybody coming in, you can Google me, this and this, and me and my wife sitting there like, everybody coming there capping. And he got his ego. I'm like, oh, if this was gonna be, I was gonna leave. Like, if this how it's gonna be around here, this where I'll come out. And so we get on the panel. They got the chairs and they got, where they want everybody. Mm-hmm. They sit me and BX side by side. Mm-hmm. So I'm in this thing like, oh my God. I look at my wife and she's like, so they doing all this stuff, and he and I got together. we got on the same page because people they're just talking and wasn't answering the question. So he and I start looking at each other like, and then there was this guy that was saying that the solution for black people who are always complaining was just to throw money at us. You remember that? Mm-hmm. And I tore his ass up.
Give me the edited version for the kids.
Oh, I'm sorry. And I tore his butt up.
With the same passion,
I tore his butt up because money isn't the problem. The problem is the lack of exposure, the lack of time for people who are actually succeeding to come back and actually teach people, because you can give somebody the money. We see it all the time. People go get money from the bank. Mm-hmm. So funding ain't it. It is the skill sets that are needed, which is what you talk about, the skill sets. Because when you develop the skill sets, you can, the money is in the customer. You don't need to. So the guy was like, I'll give somebody 100,000 right now. Who got a business? 50,000, 100,000. So I grabbed the mic, it wasn't even my time. I tore him up. BX looked at me. He said, "Oh, you black." So from that point on, we kind of messed around, and we started kind of. I started kind of giving him game on insurance, and I told him, I said, you can buy wealth until you build wealth. And I was telling him the importance of insurance. A lot of people think that creating generational wealth is some strenuous job, and you just got to overthink it. No. Generational wealth is giving your children options past when you're not here. Mm-hmm. So with insurance, you can buy it. It's done. Yeah. Wealth is there for the next generation. So I began to tell him my structure of how I set up my family to be worth over $490 million by our fourth generation, never using anything but insurance.
Yeah, go on and share that, brother. Let us in on that conversation right now. We need to know immediately.
So my wife and I have it set it up. At the time, we have more insurance, but at the time, each of us had, the goal was to have $10 million apiece of death benefit life insurance. $10 million. When we die, the money's going inside of a trust. This trust is going to generate, let's say, on average, 4 to 5% of interest inside a trust. Well, in a trust, it's like you living through paperwork. It's like you in words. So you can set it up to where your beneficiaries have to do certain checkpoints in order to be able to receive their piece of the trust. So that's $20 million in a trust. We got $20 million in a trust. Now you have your kids. Say we plan to have 3 children.
How much do you have to put in to have $20 million in a trust? Like, to get a $10 million and a $10 million.
Yes.
How much am I paying?
Yes.
To have
so
approximately.
Okay. So approximately it depends on the age. So say somebody's 30 years old. I use permanent whole life insurance because we actually build our banking system through insurance. But to get $10 million, we spend about, I put about $100,000 a year into my insurance policies, and we have a little bit over $10 million of life insurance coverage. But we can use that capital, that money I'm putting in. I can use that money, the same money I'm putting in the policy, actively daily. But that's pretty much about the 10 million. But if somebody just wanted to get term policies, you can do it with term policies. With term policies for $1 million of coverage for somebody who's in their 20s, you're talking about $50 a month. From 50 to $100 a month, depending on their age and health. So you're talking about minimal. The cost of actually getting, just say $1 million, is minimal. $100 a month, $200 a month, you're worth $1 million. It's that simple.
How does the insurance company win in this scenario?
The name of the game for insurance is that they're banking on you not doing your part of the contract. See, the contract is a unilateral partnership. So it is, if you don't do your job, they don't do theirs.
What's my job?
Your job is to pay your premium. That's it.
So they're banking that
you're not going.
I'll start to pay my premium for 5 years.
No, or even 20.
No, but what I'm saying is, I'll start to pay my premium for 5 years. Eventually, times get hard, and I cancel it, and they just got 5 years of free money.
Facts.
Dang.
So a lot of people say,
they're betting against a person. That they won't be consistent enough. The long haul.
Matter of fact, most people don't know, because a lot of financial advisors teach getting a term, buy term, invest the difference. But the truth is, only 1% of term policies pay out. So they
why? Because people stop paying the premium.
They stop paying them, or they when the term ends after, say, a 20-year or 30-year term, the cost of that same insurance is drastically higher. So you just don't continue it.
Gotcha. So I can be paying it for 10 years and then it shoots up.
Then it terms out. So you got a 10-year, 20-year, 30-year term. So at the end of a 10-year term, the policy is now done.
Vested.
Yes. No, it's done. Like, you got to get another policy. But you're 10 years older. You're closer to death. So the cost of insurance is what? More. Say you get a 20-year. By the time you get to 50, 20 years is over. You know what I mean? Your hair. By the time you get to 50, 20 years is over. Now you got a term. Guess what happens? You're 50 years old to get the same $1 million. So what people don't fail to realize is that with a term policy, you're betting that you're going to die before your time. So it's a bet. Like, yo, I got a 30-year term. You saying you want to die in 30 years? No, I want to die at 100. I want that permanent policy.
It almost seems like gambling.
It is gambling.
You're rolling the dice.
Yeah, real talk. So I want to protect this is what people fail to realize. When it comes to life insurance is not called death insurance. Life insurance is supposed to protect every aspect of your life. Everything in life is protected by insurance. This building that we're in is insurance. The mics, I hope you got insurance on the mics. You probably don't know.
I don't know if I bought that little insurance. A couple of dollars. No. I think on the mics, yes. Did I pay that little $30?
You got to. You
pay that
need to. They try to go back, go to send it back and be like, it don't work, and get it back in. But no, it's insurance. So with life insurance, a lot of people don't even realize that. I teach this in our private banking blueprint, that banks literally put billions of dollars in the cash account of life insurance policies. If you were to go to the FDIC, you go look at the assets and liabilities ledger. Every bank that is backed by the FDIC has to legally show you their assets and liabilities ledger publicly, because the FDIC is funded by us.
Wow, that's deep. So did you know this before y'all?
Absolutely, I didn't know none of this.
No.
None of it.
So you have some life insurance, I take it?
Yeah.
Okay. And so
I'll start a new bank.
Right. Okay, that's great. How long were you in life insurance?
I've been licensed 5 years.
Gotcha. Okay.
I've been teaching this 3.
Okay. All right. So connecting with.
Yes.
So was he on stage talking about life insurance?
No.
So y'all just connected, just started talking, and then I'm sure.
Yeah, we connected.
You got passion about life insurance, so I'm sure.
Yeah, so what got me is that he was talking about our community. Anything that can help our community, that's what I want to collaborate with. So once I saw he was on that, I was like, yeah, you know what I mean? Then after that, it was a brother Amir, who wanted to connect us, and then we ended up meeting. And once he showed me this that he just showed you, for me, I was already teaching do for self, but I was like, you're going to have to brand, you're going to have to do your thing on social media to do what I'm doing. But with this, it's a lot easier. And I talk about generational wealth and passing things down, but it's going to take a little time to do that. So when he said, yo, they can buy wealth, yeah, they keep building. You got to make money, to even put into the policy. But if something happens in the meantime, if you are here going for the community and you're doing this, if something ever happens to you, your family is straight. And so I want to bring that to the community, and that was fascinating to me, the amount of money that you can put in, and if anything happens, you can get that amount. And then when he talks about owning your own bank, and this is what got me, he said, if I got $100,000 in my bank account, and I asked you, because I learned how to teach a little bit.
Okay.
If you got $100,000 in your bank account and you take out $50,000, how much you got left?
50. It can't be 50,000. The way the question's set up. But if I have $100,000 in my bank account and I take out 50,000, I still have 100,000, right? Because I took out 50,000. I still took it out unless I spent.
How much do you have left in your bank account?
Left in my bank account, 50,000 that day.
Right. So that was my thoughts, right?
Yeah.
So he gonna break it down for you, but you still got 100,000 when you have your own bank set up like he did. So when he broke that down, and then he showed me how that money that you took out is tax-free money, I was like, oh man, you don't even got to nothing else. Hey, hit up Tayler Jacob.
What you mean the money you take out is tax-free?
Well, this his job now. That's his department.
I know you supposed to give me the hand-me-down bars.
I'm gonna give you the question, and I'm gonna throw the alley-oop to my brother now.
I ain't mad at that. All right, break it down.
So in an insurance policy, the reason why banks like to utilize the money, and people don't realize Walmart became $1 billion company from the utilization of insurance policies.
Walmart.
Yes, Walmart. And so did Warren Buffett. You look up any of the articles of Warren Buffett talking about life insurance, he'll say that him getting into life insurance was single-handedly the reason why he became a billionaire. So life insurance is in all of these things most people just don't know. So in an insurance policy, there's the death benefit side, and then there's a savings account. Well, in the savings account, when you dump money inside of it, you get guaranteed, if it's built right. Everybody can't do it, right? But in the policies that we talk about and that we put our clients in the cash account, the savings account, it gets a guaranteed 4% every year, plus 4 to 8% dividends.
So I put $100 in an account. A portion of that $100 goes into
Savings
a
account.
savings account,
Correct.
and the other portion just goes to the premium.
Pay the premium for the life insurance. So now my money is doing two things. It's protecting my life, and then it's in an environment that's growing in interest every year, which turned a debt dollar into an asset dollar. Because a debt dollar is money that diminishes in value. That's why we talk about inflation. When inflation goes up, the value of the dollar goes down. Well, when I put my money inside of an insurance policy, now I have cash that grows in assets or interest every year. So my money's in the savings account, making 4 to 8% every year, guaranteed. Right. So this money that's inside.
What's that split? What's that split?
If it's built right, it's a 60-40. 40% goes to take care of your death benefit. 60% of your money is actually going inside of your insurance policy. Inside the savings account.
The savings account.
Yes, sir.
And when that term is over,
there's no end of the term.
It's permanent.
I thought we did the 10 and 20 and the 50.
That was a term. That was a term insurance. We're talking about a whole life, the real what you're supposed to have.
Whole life. Okay. So I want you to stay on that point. Yes, I just want to just make sure we're clear. I put $100 in if it's built right.
Yeah, because most of them are built wrong. 90% of the policies are built incorrectly.
Okay, dang, I got more questions. I'm gonna give you this question,
yes, sir,
and I want you to answer it later.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
answer it right now because I still want to ask this question right now. Okay. So the question is, how are they built wrong?
Okay.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So okay. Clarity. Don't forget to answer that question. All right. So I put $100 in an account in a life insurance policy. $60 of that goes to a savings. $40 goes to my premium or my life insurance. If I stop paying, do I lose both sides? If I stop paying, or do I get to keep that savings side?
You get to keep the savings side as long as your policy was vested. See, this is the thing. A lot of people buy life insurance for the death benefit. That's the wrong reason to buy life insurance. You buy life insurance for the cash inside, the cash value part, the savings account. Because where else can you be able to put money somewhere and it grows tax-free and you can access it tax-free? Nowhere else but they say a Roth IRA. But I'm about to kill a Roth IRA. See, the problem that we have is when we grow our money, we liquidate our money to buy stuff, correct? It's always this constant up and down thing. That's why it's hard for us to save money, because you always need something. Well, in this savings account inside your insurance policy, when I want to access that money, say I have $100 in there, and I need to access $100 of it to go buy something. Well, when I go borrow money out of my savings account, I borrow $100, your $100 stays in your savings account and still makes interest while you have $100 in your hand. The money is still in your savings account, but you got $100 in your hand.
Right.
Your 100 is still there, but the money's in your hand.
Right.
How is that possible? Well, when you borrow against it, now you're using your savings account as collateral.
Right.
You take the money from the insurance company, which means your money is still there making interest while you got their money in your hand going to make a purchase. See, what happens is now your money never loses the momentum of interest, growing interest on top of it.
Got you. I see.
Yes.
I see. Yes. But I guess the $100 that you take from the insurance company, what interest rate is that?
Good question. Good question. So when it comes to the interest rate, it's actually based on what they guarantee they give you at 4%, and then what they it's called simple interest. There's a difference, compound and simple interest. They charge you 5% simple. Well, if you look at it, if you look at what a bank, commercial banks, they get their money at typically anywhere from 1% as low as 0.25% from the Federal Reserve. When I tell people be your own bank, you want to get other people's money at the same rate that the banks get their money at without diminishing the value of your cash. So you're getting your money at 1% or less. You're getting to use their money for 1% or less.
Okay. I like that. All right. What was my
While your
question?
money is still growing in interest.
Got you. And obviously, you got to pay that back, and then.
Or you don't have to.
I mean, they'll just take it from your.
They'll just take it out your death benefit when you die.
They'll take it from your death benefit when you die. So, if I have $10,000 in the saving side of my premium,
yes, sir.
I can borrow $10,000
Yes, sir.
from the insurance company.
Yes, sir.
And I don't ever have to pay that back.
No, sir.
But they'll take the $10,000 plus whatever interest that is from
Your death
the $1 million or whatever, right?
So $980,000, let's say interest, $980,000 your family get while you spend the 10.
Can I though? The $10,000 that is being held for collateral.
Yes.
I can't get that while I still have the $10,000 that I took.
Correct.
But it'll still grow. Okay. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. I got it.
You said, how are they built wrong?
Yes. How are they built wrong? See, you're a smart brother. See, I was off track. Yes.
Yeah, so 95% of the industry of finances, period, financial industry, 95% of them are not practitioners. They're just in it to make money.
I'm sorry, real quick. Is this part of the course?
Yeah.
This is what y'all teach in the course?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool.
Yeah. 95% of them are not practitioners. They're just in it to make money. They want to make extra money on the side, or they just want to put people in policy. They don't really know what they're doing, regurgitating information. Well, only 5% of the industry are actually vetted people who know what they're doing and have written either research on it, books on it, documentation on it, not sales books, like real, like research, like books. And the reason why 95% of policies are written wrong is because a lot of the policies are written for the benefit of the agent. Mm-hmm. So because the agent needs the money. So they write the policies that best benefit them in the ways that they can get paid the most. Well, in our case, we actually write the policies that best benefits the client, because the whole purpose of us opening up policies is to teach people how to build their own bank. And you can't build a bank if most of your money is going to the death benefit and not inside of your savings account. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah. Yes, sir.
Wow. Okay. So you got this company where you've been teaching this for a while.
Yes, sir.
Right. And then you, and I think he said how much you was spending on mail-in flyers or something like that?
$30,000 to $50,000 a month.
On like the mail
Direct
flyer.
Mail. Yes, sir.
That you probably throw away when you go into your mailbox.
Yes, sir.
But you're still getting a bag from that.
Yes, sir.
So Brother Ben X has such an infectious brand, right? I mean, it's hard to not watch Ben.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I understand how you built such a cult following, because like even your style of delivery, man, it's so cool. And I think you could tell me that I'm ugly, I'll never be successful. You could tell me all kind of stuff, and I'd be like, dang, Ben loves me. You know, the way you talk, right? But the fact of the matter is, it's uplifting messages, and you don't make people feel bad about being in the situation that they're in. You uplift. It's like I just kind of feel you rubbing my back while you're talking. It's crazy. That's the only way I can explain it. Is that kind of like accurate when you hear Ben? It's like real. You feel like you're being like coddled by your mother a little bit, but knowing you did something wrong, it's the craziest thing. But so you built this brand digitally, right? And how did y'all start to talk about business in the collaboration?
Well, first it was an affiliate. I was just
I'm sorry, all over the place. When you was fixing your tie, what was going on? Why you keep it?
Oh, well, I honestly don't know. I don't remember that part. I do remember getting up and going to the thing because I kept
Do you
going
remember
over there.
getting up and sitting down and getting up?
I don't remember that. I do remember going up and I was eating some fruit over there. And I do vividly remember him saying, "We don't bite." And I said, "Good to know." I do vividly remember
you was
that.
in that environment of cappers, bro. It rubbed off on you.
Yeah, I do remember that. But I don't know if it was intentional or not. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe it was. I don't know. But I do remember saying, "Good to know."
Okay, all right, cool. So how did y'all collaborate?
We got together, like you said, and he was teaching me about it. And I was always into using my influence to bring something to the community. Of course, we set up like a little affiliate link, and then I just started to blast it. And I was the type of person who
Hold on. So y'all set up an affiliate link.
Yeah.
So you were referring people to his insurance company, because I guess you got enlightened on insurance. You're like, oh, this is important for the community.
Yeah.
And then there was an affiliate link. How well did you do with the affiliate link?
I did black taxi with the affiliate link. So I started to promote it and I would do videos, I would share videos, I would go find, do my creative thing, go find resources and put it out there, and I would even start arguments. Like
put me in a lot of fights.
Hey man, why do y'all borrow from the bank? And somebody would respond, and I at Jake with the eyes. Right. Jake, what you gonna say about that? And he'd have to respond, and he was, he was eating them up and things of that nature. I was definitely setting them up. And so I would say little things, ask certain questions on my Instagram, and then everybody had their thoughts, and I tag Jake. Jake, what's your thoughts on that? And then he'll be going. But it got to a point to where it was going very well. But I began to have so many people come in to where they didn't know if it was from me or not, because I would have people that was promoting it. They wouldn't say that was coming from me. So it was such a overload of people coming from the influence that he was like, man, you just gonna get this certain percentage of it. And because hell, I can't tell if it's from you or not. So we just gonna do this. And that's how I started.
Wow, that's awesome.
Over-delivered.
For sure, over-delivered.
So did y'all create a separate entity together?
No,
or
I put them on them paperworks on all the company. The whole company.
Equity of the whole company.
The whole thing. Whole guap.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
How long was this relationship together before y'all did that?
That was literally
like 6 months.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You built a successful company, 6 months. You meet Brother Ben. Yeah. See, that's like rubbing your back while you know what I'm saying? You don't feel like Ben is like taking advantage at all. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing. You got a company, you just bring somebody in, give them equity.
He quickly became like a little brother to me because BX was being taken advantage of. Like when I met him, he was being taken. He was in a little situation. I'll let him explain.
Yeah, I was in a situation to where it's funny that we talk about this because the money was coming in, and I was like, so I had this sheet, right? And I was a person who wanted to get a whole bunch of streams of income. Now I was teaching on not have multiple jobs, have multiple streams at the time. So it was all video based, and I was going to have stream for these videos. But I was like, okay, I'm gonna get Jake. I'm gonna make about 500 with Brother Jake. I was doing $10 Tuesdays. Literally the game that I'm giving in digital real estate that people are paying $2,000 for, I was giving away every week for $10. Through email, and everybody had to pay me through Cash App, and they had to put their email in Cash App, and I would just email them over delivering, right? And then I had another thing, okay, I'm gonna make my money from YouTube. YouTube, it sucks because I was like building get back up, so I was only making like 200 to 400. So I'm like, on a good day, we're gonna do 400 with YouTube. Then I got monetized with
400 a day?
No, a month with YouTube.
A month.
So with my Facebook, luckily when my YouTube went down, my monetization for Facebook opened up just. I mean, it was just crazy because I couldn't monetize because I kept getting blocked. But as soon as my YouTube went down, I found like a green button says you can monetize. So I got monetized with Facebook. And Facebook algorithm used to be stupid. And everything that I did on Facebook used to go viral. So I started making good money, but then I started going to jail every 30 days. So that money was up and down.
Why would they keep sending you to jail, man?
Man, do you know I went to jail one time because I shared something from Donald Trump. Like it was a post about Donald Trump. I shared it. I didn't even post it. I got blocked. And by 2015, coming into the nation, I'm talking about black stuff. I'm talking about slavery. I'm posting like pictures like, look at what they did to us. And so it's crazy because once I start making money, they going back. I said they have to have somebody at Facebook that was doing it manually because every time I would make like getting up to like $4,000, the following month, they'll go pull something from 2015 and say, this goes against our policy. You've been banned for 30 days. I'm like, what? This from 2015. Boom, come up again. I get up to about 3,000. I'm getting up there. I'm like, oh, this finna be a good check. Then they go find something from 2017. I'm talking about slavery again. So I can't go back that far. I don't know what I was talking about back then, everything I'm posting. So they literally probably got it planned. Okay, I'm gonna hit them with this, then I'm gonna hit them with that. And so it just kept going down. Then I had, what else? What I was doing? Forex. I tried to get into Forex a little bit. Oh man, Forex is, man. I'm not saying Forex don't work, but let me tell you that story real quick. I'm meeting these people that I don't know. I'm meeting them through
Was it
other
learning
people.
Forex or was it like an MLM model?
Well, it was Forex, but they was doing the Forex, but I'm not, I've seen all them lines. I said, can I give you some money and you run my bag up, right? And so they're like, yeah, you gonna make 10% on your money every week and all this right here. And I gave my money, and after a while, I'm looking at it. And I don't know what I'm looking at, but I know the money's supposed to increase. Right. So I'm looking, I'm like, how come the money, what's going on? Oh, you gotta be patient, gold going up and then you gotta be patient. This gonna happen. Okay, I ask again, what's going on? Oh, they working it out. It take time. So I said, all right, I'm gonna go 2 weeks without asking y'all nothing. I go, bro.
How much did you give them?
500.
500.
Yeah, 500. One I gave 500. They lost because Donald Trump said something about gold, so I lost 200. So I said, let me just get the 300. I don't want to do this. She stopped texting back. The dude, I gave him $950. I was supposed to give 1,000, but I didn't have 1,000 at that time. So that tells you this is my last.
Right.
I can't just do $900 some. And so I'm hitting him, and I said, the account is gone. Like, I don't know this. It's called like an M4 tracker or something. This is how you check how much money in your Forex account. So we looking, I said, the account completely gone. I don't know what I'm doing, but the account gone. I'm hitting them on the, so they doing everything through, what's that group chat?
GroupMe?
Not GroupMe, but
Telegram.
Telegram. And you know, on Telegram, you can see if somebody is seeing it. Like, give you 2 checks. So, and you can see the last time they was active.
Right.
And they all in the group, you know, on the Forex, you know, they let you know what trades hey, I'm doing this trade, follow me. It's one of them things. You do this trade, you follow me. And I'm seeing them still talking. And I'm hitting them, say, bro, the account gone. What's going on? No response. Say, man, what's going on? The account gone. No response. Then the person who puts me on, act like they don't know what's going on either. I'm like, ain't this some stuff? That ain't the worst situation. The worst situation is this. I'm Brother Ben X. I got the influence. That's actually how this partnership all kind of came together. I got the influence. So a dude from Philly comes up with an idea about buying some trucks. You know me, like, that sound good for the community.
Right. You know yourself, man.
I post, hey man, how many I want to put up 2,000, man? We can get this truck and make this happen. I don't know all I just know, man, we can come together and do something. So the people that I was doing business with at the time, like, you need to have an LLC. I'm like, okay, that sounds good. Y'all need to have an LLC.
Corporation.
Yeah, a corporation.
Yeah,
you need to be CEO of your own stuff. You know,
S-corp. Yeah,
everything need to be together. So I'm like, okay, yeah, you go ahead and get my structure together. So we structuring it together, and I know this person who's a millionaire. You know, I don't know no millionaires, man. They take me to the golf course and they showing me this big old stuff. We eating fruit and all that. I say, oh man, I like that. He take me to his office. He say, Ben, I'm gonna give you the keys. I get the keys. Didn't realize once I got the keys, I never had. We never could actually get into the office. So it was made as if he gave me the office, but I never had access to the office, so I haven't had the office. It's weird, man. A lot of stuff happened, man. And so he's painting this picture. Oh, you can see you're gonna be the youngest black man to go public. See, when you go public, you're gonna be able to give out shares. I'm like,
of
man,
a trucking company?
No, at this time, this is just about me being able to pour all the income, because I had a lot of people wanted to give money, which I didn't.
So
but
it wasn't. So
we ain't even made no money yet.
Right.
The fact that I can bring in as much money, they like, you need to form an LLC.
Oh, so you just put it
public.
out. You just put it out there that, yo, let's put some money together to get a truck.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, I'll do it.
And so they was like, okay, let's organize this. We need to organize it. So I'm like, all right, I'm following y'all lead basically. I just know I can tell y'all a message and this is what we need to do, unite. But I don't know all the back end, right? And so they introduced me to these people, and they like, yeah, in order to go public, you gotta have. Do you remember what the paperwork was called? I keep saying memorandum, but that's like
the memorandum
police.
of understanding.
It's
memorandum
to go public. It's something that you
it's
need.
Paperwork to go public. You know
I wouldn't know.
Man, I can't think about what it is. Maybe you can find it and put it on the screen. But it was $18,000 for this paperwork. I ain't got $18,000. So, you know me, hey man, this what it is, this what we need, this the last thing we need to make this thing happen. Mind you, we ain't made no sale yet. This is just based off of what people are saying they're gonna do. Pay $18,000. I didn't pay it. I found a brother who believed in me enough, and he puts up to $18,000. Oh, brother, being this for your company, you the CEO of the company, I'm gonna put up $18,000 for the company.
Let me ask you, when you put up the $18,000, did y'all talk about like ownership, or it was just kind of like a love offering?
Well, it was he was gonna be on the board and he was gonna get a certain percentage back and things of that nature, but he wasn't worried about like getting it immediately. He like, I'm in for the long haul, right? So then we start to structure the thing, and then when I showed him my ledger how much money I want to make, he said, bro, do you know we already paid you like $3,000+ plus? I said, I didn't realize that. So I'm getting, because I'm getting like 15% of all revenue coming in. I'm bringing in all the influence.
Doing all the work.
I'm talking about, I'm promoting, I'm editing videos, I'm putting this out, and I'm getting 15%. And it's because I wasn't doing all the emails and everything else, but everything else wasn't making no damn money. I'm the one who bringing in the money. And so I get to 15, and so I'm like confused. I'm like, how much is a CEO supposed to get? I don't know what I don't know what I'm supposed to get, man. Shoot. And so the person who introduced me to the person that we paid the $18,000, they kind of got into it. I realized they didn't really know them for a long time, so I'm like, hold on, what is going on here? And so recently, I had to pay him back $9,000. I'm not doing business. I'm not the CEO of that company. I was kind of put down. I was like, demoted because I wasn't, active in all of the thing. I was going to be CMO because I do the marketing and all this.
So you were bringing in money to do what? I mean, what was the product y'all was selling after y'all got this $18,000 to put it up?
To be honest, it was almost like an official affiliate. Because
of what though? You were getting 50%. What was the transaction?
Look, we found somebody who do credit. We're gonna get this percentage off your credit. Boom. We found Jake who did insurance. Well, we're gonna get an affiliate link off your insurance. We found somebody else who did Forex.
Dave.
So when they come in and put their money in Forex, it's an official paperwork to do the Forex. So we basically
you're doing your best to explain it, but
we basically an official affiliate company.
No. And they were trying to, this person that he was in partnership with was trying to get him to raise money to get people to invest into this public company for products and services that they didn't know.
We never had to do the product. It was always partnerships.
He was truly clueless.
Right.
He was really out here like,
I get the concept. I get the concept, right? So for instance, I have like my podcast where I will definitely be getting an affiliate link, gentlemen. Just to let you know. Just let you know. Okay. So like this would be the company, and we just have affiliate links, right? So when people watch the video, they like it, they subscribe, and they buy. I get a percentage. I get the concept.
Yeah.
But I guess you weren't as involved in the business part of it, right?
Yeah, like to me, I didn't know why we was talking to them. Like there was no money being made, so it was like emails, and it was like with meeting about meetings, and
it was there
was no money, and so
y'all company found Jake to be a part of this.
No, we found each other.
Right.
But it was almost made as if
a corporation.
The corporation introduced us, was going to have a meeting with us, but no, we had already talked that night, hey, we're going to get together, we're going to do business together. We already established it.
And then the CEO of that corporation tried to act like that they set this up, which is why the corporation needs to get paid. And so
for me at this time, I'm staying with my in-laws at the time because my YouTube channel got broken, got messed up. I was gonna move out of an apartment into a home. I was gonna mortgage. Luckily, around that time, I met Jake, so I was like, well, we're not gonna mortgage. So we had moved.
We don't do mortgages?
No. We don't borrow from the bank.
No. We don't borrow from the bank.
So he'll get into that.
I can't wait. Finish the story.
And so I'm moving, and so since we stopped the rent on our apartment, so we went and stayed for our in-law. We was only gonna stay there for like three months, because I'm thinking the corporation, we finna start making all this money and things of this nature. And so when we got with brother Jake, it's like I'm doing all this work, but I'm not getting paid them. I'm getting paid like all this money's coming in to them. But I'm getting my little 15%, and then I start doing calculations like I kid you not, it's three people, it's three of us, right? I did 15% plus 15% plus 17%, and then the company was supposed to get 25%, and I broke it down to Jake one day. I feel so dumb when I broke it down to him. He said, okay, 25 plus 17 plus 15 plus 15. Where the other money going? I said, damn, that's not 100%. I don't know where it's going. I swear, I said, bro, I don't know. And so, yeah, man, so stuff happened.
Man, I love your transparency, brother.
I got out of it, and then we found a partnership because he realized, bro, you're not getting the proper percentage, you're not being treated right. And around that time, I had started to promote him on my platform, and some people was like, don't promote him, don't let him use you, ironically, and don't let him use you and all that, don't post that. I'm posting it because I see he's teaching me. They're not there when he's bringing me to the office and literally breaking stuff down to me, showing me how stuff work. And he's telling me, bro, you ain't got to post nothing. You ain't got to post.
I didn't want to get posted.
Yeah, I'm promoting it because I'm like, bro, but this is some good stuff. Yeah. And so we ended up creating that partnership, man, and it blew up there from there. But anyways, long story short, I had to pay back the $18,000 myself. So I paid back the 9 already.
To your guy that put in 18.
I paid off the 9 myself.
Very
and
honorable.
then
that's very honorable too, because
but no, before you go there, stay on that. Because in my mind, okay, I didn't know this person. I didn't really know business. I'm kind of following your lead. Can you do the other 9? You know what I mean? Can you do the other 9? I mean, and then because the company, the relationships that the money was coming in due to COVID-19, the money's not coming in like that. So I'm like, he did pay $18,000, expecting to do this. Yeah. I do 9, you do the other half. The response was, the company's gonna pay it back. When I thought about it, if I'm the one who had the influence, who brought in all these people, I'm still the one who paying it. I put in the work that's generating the money to pay it back. So I'm still paying it back. And he don't wanna wait years to get some little $200 or little $54 a month, so I'm gonna pay back the other 9. Well, I already paid. I owe him 5 now. I just got to pay that off.
No, I was saying that's real honorable, because when you go into a business, if the business doesn't make money, like we all put in like sweat equity. Like if we all came together and like we was like, yo, we all about to put in $5,000, right? It's 1, 2, 3, it's 6 of us. We got 30,000. If the business goes belly up, just because it was my idea, would you expect to get your 5,000 back, or? Real question. Would you expect, yo, Dave, you owe me 5,000? I wouldn't.
Well, it never got off it like nothing ever, it didn't get off the ground like at all.
No, that's what I'm saying though. But if we're going into a business together, you don't get your time back for promoting.
That's true.
So somebody come and put $18,000 in an idea and it doesn't work.
Well, the reason I wanted to pay the $18,000 back is because the paperwork was no use. The $18,000 was for the paperwork alone. To me, if I put in $18,000 for some paperwork that was never used at all, and it really probably shouldn't have even wanted to go get the paperwork at that time because we didn't even generate any money, then I don't mind paying that back.
No, that's what I'm saying. It's super, super honorable. Yeah. You know what I mean, that you pay that back. I mean,
and it wasn't used at all.
If it was maybe a personal relation, I don't know.
But so that's why I made him a partner of the company, because I saw, and I used to tell him, I said, bro, I can only imagine how many people try to use you for your influence.
Right.
And I said, good thing is, I don't need your influence.
Right.
And so I really just became like the big bro, and I helped walk him through situations. I never exposed or told, whatever. So in his moments of vulnerability, I appreciated that he allowed for me to see all of this stuff that he was dealing with.
Gotcha.
And he became like a brother. And then when you find somebody that provides that much immense value to your company and completely changes the fabric of your company, he did. BX, he did, okay? Yeah. And because he did that, and I saw the honesty in his heart and his transparency, and both he and I are firm believers of impact first, money second. Yeah. And because we believe in doing God's work, the kingdom work, it was a no-brainer for me. And sometimes you just got to go with the Spirit, and sometimes the Spirit do you right. And so that's how the partnership happened, and that's kind of where we went from there. And since then, we've been able to do that, and he helped me blow up my Instagram, my social media. And I'd like to thank him, because if it wasn't for him coming into the company and coming to our life, I never would be on Forbes Business Council. I never would have been in Yahoo Finance. I wouldn't have been in that type of stuff if I never got, been able to do that for him. And so he was vulnerable with me, and he brought me into his world with his community that he worked so hard for. So why can't I bring him into my world for something I worked so hard for, and we may be able to make it work?
That's pretty cool. So I didn't really, and this is a really cool story, especially how we just got here, because I didn't know you until I guess from the Nove, but I didn't know, right? And so we played basketball the other day, and I'm talking to Ben, and I'm like, yo, Ben, how long you here? He said, yo, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm like, yo, I'd love to get you on the podcast. So he says, all right, let's do it. And then he turns to you and says, yo, Jake, he wants us on the podcast.
Yeah.
I was like, all don't really know Jake. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you're here. But I thought that was pretty cool. And in that moment, just stuck in my mind for the last 2 days. Like, he turns and says, yo, he wants us on the podcast. I didn't ask for us. Yeah. I know Ben. Yeah. Right?
And it's crazy. I've been in his DM. Like, I was like, hey, yo, Shane. Bro, look it right now. Go to your DM.
Nah, fam.
Bro, what's crazy, bro? I tried to get you inside of our community. You was like, yo, when? And I was like,
yeah, that's what made me hit you up, because he was like, he responded to me. So you
go to your DM on Instagram.
I just followed you today.
I know. So go to your Instagram, go to your DM, look at Jake Taylor Jacobs. I'm probably in general. I'm probably in general.
You know what's crazy? We text a bunch of times. It's a bunch of joints. Yo, that's crazy. Yo, look at this, though. This joint, yo, from July of 2019. Yo, it's mad. You see this? Dang, that's great. Okay, he said, okay, I want to get you on my show on Facebook.
Then I was telling you that,
introduce you.
And you're like, cool.
To my community. I get anywhere 400, 4,000 people on my live stream. I said, let's do it. Yeah, but you know, like I can't tell this is you from that. Okay, I want you to bring community, teach lesson on. Okay, and I said when, and then you said Thursday, and then I didn't reply because I didn't. It's not. It is my fault, but
it's cool, bro. It's no
that's
big deal.
crazy.
I'm just showing you small world. That's all.
It's small world. Small world. Okay. All right, cool. That makes sense. It's mad embarrassing. I can't believe you do this on the podcast. Like,
but that's how we roll. Like it's wherever I am, he is.
Yeah, I love it.
Wherever he is, I am, and that's what we decided to do. We decided to do business life together, like life period. So we intertwined our family lives, or all those lives, because there's a bigger mission that we got.
You know what's funny? You said you've been saying that for 2 days. I actually thought about that. I said, I know he asked me, and then I literally in front of you said, hey, he want us on the. I wonder if he said, I didn't ask for this.
That's what I said in my head. I'm like, I don't know. I mean, look like a cool hooper, like, you know what I'm saying, but I don't know. But I thought that's how it should be. You know what I mean? That's how it's supposed to be in terms of like partnerships. You know what I mean? I thought that was awesome. So for the community, we're doing digital real estate, mental real estate.
Digital real estate.
Digital real estate. So what is digital real estate?
So digital real estate is showing people how to build digital assets online through your own profile, your own actual platform, or intellectual property. And how I break it down is a valuable home. You can bring in more revenue when the home is bigger and if the home has more value. And so what I teach is focus on passive impact, not passive income, because the more people you impact, the more income will come. So if you look at Facebook, what Brother Jake was showing is, hey, well, when you got land, you still got to pay land taxes. I don't know how it is in Atlanta, but that's how it is out there. When you have a property and you buy a property, you still got to pay property taxes. Well, when I build up my property on Facebook and I'm getting paid from it residually, like a monthly income that's coming in, I still got to pay taxes to Facebook. They still going to get their fee. Same thing with YouTube, same thing with Instagram. Like they just opened up Instagram where you can get paid through badges. Right now it's free. It's kind of like Cash App, everything, no hidden, no fees. But eventually they said they are going to take their fee. That's their taxes. So what I show people is this. Why are you asking people, well, I'll start with this. Have you ever had a home warmer? They say yes. I said, would you ever invite somebody to a home warmer but you have nothing to sit on? You have nothing for them to eat? You have nothing for them to watch? Well, if that's the case, why are you asking for them to follow you, but you have nothing for them to watch? You have nothing for them to actually binge. You have nothing for them to actually be there for. And so that's what I teach y'all. So I show them how to build your Instagram up, build your Facebook up, build your YouTube up. And I show them literally a replica of my mind on how I did it. So it's not all about income. It's not all about following. It's about mindset. So a lot of people who come into the digital real estate, they come looking to make money, but their whole life is transformed because it's more than just money. It's about mindset. So I tell people up front, if you're not coming to serve the community, give them value, don't join my class. Don't join digital real estate. I don't know how to help you make money, because mine is about developing a product, developing services, build your own platform, build your own program so that you can service people on a monthly basis. For example, with your real estate, The average person is making between $250 to $500 per door. He talks about it, but I actually Googled it from people who actually have homes. They say they're doing about $200 to $500 per door, which is why they say get you a fourplex. Let these 3 homes pay for this 1 home, but you got to borrow money from the bank to get this home. Let that fourplex, let those 3 people rent those out so you can pay this. And well, what I said was I can do that digitally. I can have a platform here, have several products, and these different products are my home. And I can allow this digital money to pay my physical rent or my physical whatever it is that it is. So when you look at your insurance bill, when you look at your light bill, when you look at your Wi-Fi bill, when you look at your rent and your mortgage, what similarity do these things have?
They keep you sheltered. I mean,
Keep you sheltered.
Well, you got to pay them every month.
You got to pay them every month.
Yeah.
And to that person, it's a necessity, because if it wasn't a necessity, they wouldn't be paying for it. So Wi-Fi, of course, everybody doesn't value Wi-Fi, but those who do value Wi-Fi, they paying for it every month. What does it have to do with digital real estate? Well, when you have a product and you have a service, everybody doesn't value it, so everybody not gonna pay it every month. But you gotta find your niche audience that is finding that as something valuable. They'll pay for it every month, like your phone bill. Yeah, your phone bill only maybe $69, but do 69 times 10,000. Yeah, your phone bill may be only $99 on your family plan, but do 99 times 100,000 people. Now you have changed your life by changing other people's life by giving them an asset and a necessity that they need. So I tell people, hey man, what if you had a product? What if you had a service and you charge $50 a month? Well, if you charge $50 a month, shoot, a lot of people are paying for McDonald's more than $50 a month. More people are going out to eat food that they know is harmful to them, know that it's food that's going to make their health bad, 10 times bad, and they willing to pay for it. Are you meaning to tell me that a Big Mac from McDonald's is more valuable than you? So if you pull out of yourself and stop chasing money and chase the guy within, the skills within, and the talent within, and create a product and become so valuable that people are willing to pay you every month. If I do 50 times 1,000, that's $50,000. If I do 1,000 times 8, that's $8,000. If I do 1,000 times 5, that's $5,000. And a lot of people right now, especially during quarantine, are not even making $5,000 a month. And so what I tell people, I know you want to get 100,000 followers. I know you want to get 100,000 views and 1 million views, and you can make money that way. But I've done it, and you're only going to get about $2,000 to $3,000. I mean, but what's the chances of you doing 1 million every freaking month? But what I'm saying is, what if you got 1,000 people that you are servicing every month? What if you got 500 people that you're servicing every month, either through an ebook, either through a masterclass or a course or consultations? If you can do this every month and charge $47, $97, $400, $999, it can completely change your life. And that's really the meat of digital real estate.
So you teach them how to create their own product.
Yep, how to create your own product, how to design it, how to do a podcast, how to write an ebook, how to design an ebook, the whole nine. How to grow how to grow your course content through content marketing. And honestly, he's became one of the biggest students, showing him how to take what he was doing offline, online, package it up. Now instead of you just getting paid off of the policies, now we get paid out the actual courses that teaches you how to do that. Now you got a whole nother stream of income.
Gotcha. Okay. That's dope. So how do people enroll in it?
Right now,
other than clicking the affiliate link.
Right now it's actually closed. So when you click the link in his bio, it's going to take you to a page that said it is closed down. But now the reason we closed, let me go there. We found that a lot of people can make money. We've had people that made $9,000 in 4 weeks. We have people that made more than $11,000 in 4 weeks, $20,000 in a month. And they can do this without a product. So we show them how to do that. But the people who are most successful come in with the business already, a product already, or services already, and we help them scale because a lot of them don't know how to utilize the online platform. So even if you know how to use Instagram and Facebook, you don't know how to properly market. You don't know what to actually say. You don't know how to do influencer marketing. You don't know the details on what's going to actually make this thing go. And so what we found is we should probably close this down, take them through a basic course, which is purpose to profit. You need to find your purpose first. You need to have a basics of social media first. Like when I'm talking in digital real estate, you don't even know what a DM is. You don't even know what a hashtag is because I got an older audience as well that's just trying to get into something new because of COVID-19. So we said, let's take you guys here, start off with the basics. When you apply, when you finish this, now you're qualified to come into the digital real estate. So right now you'll see on the website, it's closed. We got tons of testimonials, but we are going to open it up for Black Friday.
Gotcha. Okay. So dang. Well, so by the time they watch this, it'll be open. So
And they'll be on the waiting list. So by the time they're on the waiting list, they'll still, have your affiliate link.
okay, cool. And it might be open right now. But by the time you're watching this, who knows? Like, so.
He gonna time it. All right, give him over.
Oh,
They
for
said
sure.
Black
I
Friday.
need to know
And
what's happening out
and
here.
what's crazy is it goes crazy. Whenever there's a deadline, man, that thing go crazy.
$100,000.
So is the life insurance kind of wrapped into that?
Yeah.
Well, what happened was with him, he's like, I'm showing people how to protect their legacy, how to build their wealth. But in my mind, but what if they ain't got no $100,000 to put into this bank? What they gonna do? So I'm like, okay, let me show them how to make the money. After they make the money, then let me show them how to protect the money. Because a lot of people don't know what to do once they get the money. You got $9,000. The Bible talks about a fool and his money will soon part. So yeah, you got the money. So now let me educate you on what to do with your money so that you can ensure that your family is gonna be set. So we take them from digital real estate, then we move them here to protect it. Now they all the way straight.
Major question, because I don't want to keep y'all long because I know y'all hungry. But we're not using banks. Because I remember you said you were about to buy a house.
Yep.
But this brother right here said
Save me from
he
that.
saved you from
That financial
using
slavery.
the bank to buy a house. Walk me through that, because that's not a popular perspective.
Yeah.
So talk to me.
The Bible says that the borrower is always a slave to the lender. The Bible also talks about how we're supposed to lend to many nations and borrow from none. But if I'm a believer of the Word of God, I have to believe that has to be true. So my question is, how come we have never been taught how to be the bank? There are only 3 teams in this world: the consumer, the producer, and the banker. There's only one team that wins on both sides. It's the banker. So as the producer, yeah, I'm producing, but I am taught, and even financial advisors teach us how to be dependent on daddy. Who's daddy? Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Chase Bank. I need their money in order to survive. But Brother Shans, let me ask you a question. Where do the banks get their money?
From us.
From the consumer, right? So why would I get secondary money when I can go directly to the consumer without the fee of an interest? So when we look at it, you say, dang, the banks literally made a fortune by going to the same consumer I can go to. Well, the problem that we have, Brother Shans, is that a lot of us, we like to live a life that we cannot afford. So we would rather borrow from our future to have our future today. So for me, before I got the Benz, before I got the Rolexes, before I got that stuff, I lived beyond lower than my means, so that I can have the cash flow that's required that can allow for me to go get the stuff that we want to be able to have. So people say, Jake, what about a mortgage? I want to have a house. Well, a lot of people say, well, if you get a mortgage, well, if you got the deed, you're really just paying the mortgage back to the bank, but you really own the deed because you got equity and assets in your house that's growing and all that other stuff. And it sounds really cool, but at the end of the day, a slave is still a slave. However you want to spin it, however you want to flip it, however you want to do it, you are still enslaved. Whether you're in the house or picking cotton outside, you are still a slave, my guy. And so when you look at it, I believe what the guy said, it was true, that the borrower will always be a slave to the lender. So they say, Jake, well, if you're renting, you got this company, right? You're renting and you should be mortgaging and buying. A lot of us are not even living in the house of our dreams. We settle. You got this cul-de-sac of land. House, you got that much land, talking about I'm leaving it for my kids. You got 3 kids with a 3-bedroom house on this small cul-de-sac of land. You are not leaving that to your kids.
That's crazy, because I got a house on a cul-de-sac too. Right? You know what I'm saying? I feel kind of bad now.
And so my philosophy is, we've been taught wrong. The first thing that we should be able to go look for first is the land. Because when I find the land, then I can build my house, and I'm supposed to buy land that my children could be able to live on. What changed my life, Brother Shans, is when I went to Indonesia. When I went to Indonesia, me and my wife went to Bali. We were traveling. We stayed with the community. And I asked, I always mess up his name, Young. That ain't his name. We're going to call him Young. But I asked him, I said, man, how much is y'all's family land worth? He said, man, we've had our family land, and everybody had like acres. Everybody had acres. And I was like, yo, how much is your family land? And he was like, I don't know. I said, well, what if, your family want to buy it? What if da-da-da-da? He said, it will be considered treason for any of us to sell family land. But in America, for the highest bidder, you will sell what you were supposed to give to your kids because the equity went up, your assets went up. I said, so wait a minute. wait. So where are your kids and family supposed to stay? That's why we have all these acres. We stay on the family land. This is the family compound. We don't pay for rent, mortgage, whatever. Well, the buck got to stop somewhere. Somebody got to stop this. Bro, what's the #1 cause of death in Black America?
Health reasons, I suppose.
Okay. What health reason do you think?
Cancer?
Heart disease.
Heart disease. Okay.
You know the #1 cause of heart disease?
What's that?
Acute and chronic stress. The #1 cause of acute and chronic stress is financial stress. #1 cause of divorce in America.
Finances.
#1 cause of arguments.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And so you talk about that acute and chronic stress is finances. What's the #1 cause of financial stress?
Debt. So here's my thing, though. So let's say, for instance, like the conversation you just said, renting versus, I guess, so-called owning, right? So you can pay. So for instance, where I live right now, if I was going to be renting it, I would probably be paying double the amount that I pay for my mortgage. So, and me and my cousin, we had the conversation. He said, "Yo, we're gonna race to pay it off, like, cause we don't want any debt."
Yes, sir.
And he won shortly after. But if I'm renting while I'm trying to kind of own the land, right? Is that necessarily a bad thing if I'm paying half by borrowing from the bank?
Let me ask you a question. Do you consider the house that you're living in an asset?
I do not.
Okay, we're good then. You don't think consider this an asset, so I ain't got to go. I ain't got to take you there. Okay, I ain't got to take you there. But this is what I like to tell people: I rent, but I own everywhere I rent. Here's why: because when I use my insurance policies, say we pay $2,500 a month. We actually do pay $2,500 a month to rent. Well, over the course of a year, $2,500 a month times 12 months is what?
2,500, 25,000, $30,000.
$30,000. Well, because we've done it the right way, we take money out of our insurance policy and we pay our rent for the year up front. When you pay your rent for the year up front, most people that are landlords will give you 2 months free because you're paying up front. Nobody pays up front. Right. But now I just got 2 months. I got $5,000. Now it's off of the table. Now I'm only dealing with 10 months. When I say, well, I rent everywhere I own, I own everywhere I rent. But I'm paying my rent back to who?
To the landlord.
No, sir. I gave the landlord $30,000. Well, 25 because I got $25,000. I gave him that up front. I pulled that from my insurance policy.
Right.
The $25,000 that I pulled from my insurance policy is still making 4 to 8%. I'm paying myself back. So what is a mortgage? A bank makes money off of what was lent out. They make money for whoever pays back. So I'm literally owning the very mortgage anywhere I stay.
I'm still struggling with that one, brother.
Okay.
I'm still struggling with that one. Only because my property value, and who knows after elections and all that kind of stuff, but my property value since I bought it a year ago has gone up about 10%. So in the event that let's say over, we're renting over a 10-year period or 20-year period,
yes, sir,
and I could pay more of my mortgage to escalate the payments. Eventually, I'll have this house worth whatever it's worth at the time, right? And I'll own it because the money I'm...
What's the percentage of people who pay overage of their mortgage?
Not many.
Yeah, it's like less than 15%.
Yeah.
So it means that 85% of people who say that they're going to pay overage on mortgage don't. A 30-year mortgage, you'll pay 2 times the value of that mortgage over 30 years, you'll pay twice the amount. So a $300,000 house, you'll end up paying $598,000 with a 4.1% APR.
Right. But over that same time period, if you're renting, you won't get none of that back.
Well, you won't rent for 30 years. I hope not.
Right. So there's a strategy behind.
Yes, sir. You don't rent for the rest of your life. You rent until you can buy your house cash.
Got it.
Yes, and if you don't want to take that patience, you don't have that patience to be able to do it. I also teach a strategy. If you have to mortgage, 15-15-25 rule. Get a 15-year mortgage, put 15% down. You beat PMI, and as long as that mortgage isn't worth more than 25% of what your take home is, then that's a mortgage that you can be able to take if you actually needed a mortgage. But for people that do want to take their time, like for me and my wife are going to build our dream house in the next 2 years, all right? I've been renting since I've been out of college. I've been out of college now. It'll be like, when I got out of college, I got at 14, what's this? 20, 6 years. So 8 years or so, right? 8 years or so that I was renting. But in our 9th year, we're gonna be living in our dream house, mortgage free.
Got it.
I spent more time focusing on my income than I did on trying to buy a mortgage. And so just the philosophy, it's not.
Here's the thing. In that scenario, what if we had the same plan, right? To save enough to pay for our dream house cash, right? So I can get on the same trajectory from today for the next 10 years.
Yes, sir.
But it would be easier for me to save money because if all things are the same, right? Because the money that I'm paying monthly towards the mortgage is less, and the money that I'm putting in, obviously not closer to the back end unless you're paying it up, but
mortgage, the money that you're paying towards the mortgage.
So the money that I'm paying towards the mortgage, I'll get back. Of course, a lot of it interest up front, so you don't get that back. But in a rent scenario, 10 years, let's say 10 years at $25,000 a year is $250,000.
Yes, sir.
So we paid that. We don't get any of it back. But you can still have the same savings plan, right?
But remember, I said I'm pulling it out of my insurance policy.
Right.
So I'm getting all of that back. I haven't lost a dime. Plus the 4 to 8% that's been growing for the 10 years. My money is still there. So I'm not taking cash and paying my rent. My money's coming from my insurance policy. I'm putting the money back into my policy. That money, at the end of 10 years, I would have at the end of 10 years almost the same amount that you would have for reselling your policy. Reselling your house in 10 years, using my insurance as the vessel of being able to pay it and repay it. Yes, sir. So now I own the house. I have the cash there that's grown in interest over the 10 years. I don't have any debt that came with that. I got to stay where I wanted to with no debt that came with that. And then when I'm ready to actually buy a house that I actually want, I can buy the house without having to pay a mortgage.
I'm not mad at the strategy.
Yes, sir.
I'm not mad at the strategy. Okay, let me ask you this. So do you feel like that, like in some scenarios, if you play it right, having a mortgage is fine?
Yeah, I said 15 year.
Right, okay,
15-year fixed term.
25.
Yes, sir.
Okay, got you.
15-year fixed term. That's if you're just looking at interest-wise, 15-year fixed term is perfect. Now, of course, your mortgage will be higher, but at the end of 15 years, you will pay like 2 times less in interest, which gives you a lot more money for the next 15 years to be able to do whatever you need to do. But so if somebody wanted a mortgage, I do give them a strategy to get their mortgage for a 15-year term, and then I show them how to use their insurance policy to buy back the debt of their mortgage, so they just pay themselves back.
But so in that scenario, you just got to have more money. But you got to have like more money to be able to pay, kind of double what you would be paying at a 30-year.
Well, a lot of times it's not always double. Sometimes it's maybe an additional $600 to $800 a month. But if you cannot afford to do that, you maybe can't afford to buy that home that you want to buy, because that mortgage, when I say 25% of that mortgage, that's showing you how much house you can afford. Yeah. So a lot of people, when they look at a house, they look at the 3 bed, 2 bath, brand new build, $250,000 home. You may not be able to afford a $250,000 home. You may only be able to afford a $50,000 home, a $80,000, $100,000, maybe an $80,000 home. You put $40,000 worth of work into. You maybe can afford that, but the problem that we have is we get more house than we can afford. Now you're saying, well, I'm gonna get a 30-year because I can pay less, but I can get this house. You cannot afford it. And the reason why we're in the financial situation that we're in is because we typically get things that we cannot afford. And that's just why we are where we are, which is why we spend so much time paying off debt. You can't even live the life of your dreams. You're always stressed out because if you can't come up with money, you got to pay your debts, or it's gonna come. They're gonna come shut the house. They're gonna come pick up your car. They're gonna come shut down the building. But when you're living a life and you have no debt really in your life at all, now all that extra cash flow, you have all the freedom that you want to be able to go live the life that you want.
I love it. And when did y'all decide to get matching Rolexes? I saw that. I noticed that.
I got mine, and then I bought his as a gift.
Really?
Yes, sir.
That's dope.
Yeah.
So how many affiliate links I gotta sell to get me a Rolex? You know what I'm saying? Because I got a Movado, but here's the crazy thing: the battery. I still haven't fixed the battery on it, so it actually doesn't work. But I need something on my wrist. This guy said today, he was like, "Man, you got the Movado. I like that." But I'm no capper. I was like, "Yo, bro, the battery doesn't work." Okay, so how many affiliate links I gotta sell? How many? I mean, let's put a number on camera just so we know.
I don't know, there's no number. Like I just
I need a gift.
No, but it's seriously, he's changed my life in more ways than I can imagine.
For sure.
And you can always give somebody cash, but they'll never forget when you actually spent time and you spent money on buying them something nice. So even if 10, 15 years from now, we decided to part ways, that is still something that he'll be able to give Taji, my godson, and say, hey, listen, your G-Daddy got me this, now you can take it. I like gifts too, as well as that.
You know what? You actually just gave me a goal to give one of my business partners a Rolex. It's not coming right now, but that's a really cool thing to do. All right, cool. Look, man, we've been here. Whoa, we've been here. We've been here for a minute.
I just want to say something about you, Dave. I absolutely love how you are a cap-free zone. I told him that maybe some time ago, and I was like, bro, I just love Dave because I didn't even know you. I said, man, I just love Dave because Dave gonna tell you all of his business. Like, bro, I'm gonna tell you right now. Car just broke down. But I think that's important because a lot of people are building their influence and they're building their business off of cap, and there's no authenticity. There's no realness that's there, and I know sometimes realness don't pay. But I just want to let you know that there are people out here that value it, even me myself, because I'm over here looking on your social media platform, and I say, man, this is just a breath of fresh air to look at your social media and know that the content that you're giving is from you. It's from your experiences. It's from what you go through, versus other people that are on social media that may have more followers. They may have more money today, but I'm telling you right now, 10 years from now, you're gonna be able to sit, right? You're gonna be on some other game just because right now what is going on, people don't want the cap no more. They want people who are real, who are authentic. So I appreciate you for being real, bro. That's a big deal. The people need to see that.
Man, I appreciate you, man. That means a lot. That means a lot. Thank you. So I want to and let me just, before we close it out, I try to expose, kind of like Ben, I'm sure you can relate. I try to expose who I am because there are a lot of people out there that have flaws, right? And they're looking up to people and feel like, yo, if I want the influence that Brother Ben X has, then I gotta go get a X amount of car, or I gotta flash, and I don't have that, so I feel discouraged. Yeah. But the major part is keeping up with the facade is too hard, bro. Especially, like, say, for instance, you're the person that's always flashy. When the bill comes,
Facts.
Look, I'll be the first person.
Facts.
Hey, had a light month this month. You know me? So, but in that comes with a lot. Yeah. The perception that you create.
You got to keep that up.
You got to keep.
You
got to
keep that up, bro. You got to keep that up.
That's tough. That's hard.
You got to keep that up.
It's like the joint. You know the hairline is like this.
Yeah.
And then they put the toupee on. It's too much stress. Remember we talked about stress? Yo, when it rains, extra stress. Extra stress. You can't go swimming. It's like,
can't do that.
I want to swim, but I can't. We might be hooping, and you going up for a rebound, but you don't want to go up because you don't want nobody to take your joint off. So it's too much stress to try to impress people that you don't even know.
How can we make realness cool, like failure cool?
I think more of us are doing it.
Yeah.
I think more of us are doing it. I think we had that era of I'm attracted to lifestyle. I'm attracted to y'all, you doing all this stuff. But I think it's happening.
Bro, when I walked in and I saw the Chucks and I'm like, yo, cause I always got my head back. I'm like, yo, that's dope, because usually, and no offense to anybody, but usually like white guys, like they can wear whatever the heck they want to wear and nobody judges them. But when I think of Dave, I'm like, bro, Dave literally could come in here with a tutu. And everybody like, oh, that's Dave. But there's so many entrepreneurs who want the freedom that you got. Yeah. Because everybody know, like, it's Dave. Like, so you probably don't know what you gonna get, Dave. But there's a lot of entrepreneurs that want that freedom. I remember in MLM, and I hated this saying, it was called "fake it till you make it," and I could not understand it. So I just wanted to say I appreciate you, bro. That means a lot.
No doubt. All right, look, man, we got to close this out, man. I like y'all to kind of just share how they can get in touch with you, and both of you, I need a word of wisdom to close this out. Somebody that's watching this video, they've learned so much, and you know the audience that you speak to, right? So you know what they need at this moment, man. So actually, Jake, if you could start us off, because I want Brother Ben to like really close us out real strong and soft. It's like a soft, strong. And when he starts talking, man, I love his style. I'm trying to describe why I love Ben's style so much, man. It's so amazing. So just let them know how to find you, and close us out with a word.
My name is Jake Tayler Jacobs. You can find me on all platforms. Jake Tayler Jacobs, JAKETAYLER Jacobs, JCOBS. And my word of wisdom is to find your truth, walk your walk, find your destiny, and stay in your lane. You do that, you'll be fine.
There it is, Brother Ben.
My name is Brother Ben X. You can find me on everything at Brother Ben X Podcast, Brother Ben X on YouTube, Brother Ben X on Instagram, etc., etc. My words of wisdom is patience. Remain patient and follow the God within yourself and have faith that it will get better. And this is why I'm saying this, because we just spoke about social media. And on social media, a lot of us don't have patience because you're comparing your life to somebody who has been doing it for 10 years. And you think because she's 26 and I'm 26 that I should be in the same condition that she's in, when no, you shouldn't, because you haven't put in that amount of work. And the way that I look at it is like a baby. You look at somebody who has a baby who's 11 years old and you see the relationship that they have and you say, oh, I got baby fever. I want a son. I want a daughter. And you want them because you're looking at the baby at 11 years old, but you're missing out when she was 1 year old and the mother didn't get any sleep. You're missing out when the mother had to breastfeed. You're missing out when the father had to work 2 to 3 jobs to take care of that child to make sure that the woman was able to do what she had to do. So when you're thinking about what you want to do online, don't think about what you want to do comparing it to somebody else. Make sure that it's coming from within, because if it's coming from without, you're going to end up with resentment because you're going to be following a lifestyle that's not true to yourself. I believe true submission to the will of God is what's going to bring you peace. Listen to the God within. And when I say the God within, it's like that cartoon when you have an angel on one side and the devil on one side. You have to listen to that God within, or else you're going to be caught by a devil, which is deceptive intelligence. The minister puts it this way, and I end it with this. He asked a question. Would you murder or would you kill the messenger of God? Of course, everybody said, no, sir, I wouldn't kill the messenger of God. He said, oh, you killed the messenger of God every day that you don't listen to that voice within, because that voice of truth within, that voice of righteousness within is God. And every time you silence that voice, you are murdering the messenger of God. So stop murdering the messenger of God.
Man, Jake, Brother Ben, thank you so much for blessing the podcast. Man, make sure you go follow these brothers. I'm sorry, this is really the last thing. I'm gonna like to make predictions on the podcast. So I would like to know where you see yourself in the next 5 to 10 years so that I can look at this in 5 to 10 years and say, yo, Jake was talking about that 5 years ago. Ben was talking about that 5 years. I got the video. He said this is where he's gonna be, and it actually happened. So, Ben, let me get you first.
In 5 years, man, I see us impacting the business industry and financial industry through tools and our SaaS products that we create. Yep. I see us educating the community on such a mass level that if you don't do it our way, which is the authentic way, the real way, and our marketing is the results of our clients, not what we do for ourselves, but the results of our clients. If you don't do it that way, then you're gonna be looked down upon. So that's how we're gonna destroy the cap. I see me and Brother Jake having a compound, having tons of land, growing our own food, and being able to impact people the way that we're doing it, but at 50 times scale. I'm seeing thousands of people learning from us every week. I'm seeing us developing not just followers and people who's changing their lives, but developing leaders. I see us picking people outside or inside of our ABS tribe to be leaders, to be masters of everything that we don't do or don't want to do. And I see ourselves replacing ourselves within our company and basically just consulting and living our best life, focusing solely on serving God, not worrying about business, not worried about marketing, but our full focus is on helping our people in whatever way that they need.
I love it.
Yep.
Come on. Give me 5 out of 10.
I'll do 10 years. He talked about, I see us going completely to technology, being a fintech company. I think it's very important that we evolve, and I haven't seen
Fintech.
Finance, technology.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Fintech company, and seeing us evolve and grow. In 10 years, we'll be a $100 million company. My goal is for us to pay at least $1 million a year in payroll, and so that the people that are with us right now, all of them at least be at $100,000 a year. We have 22 staff members in our company currently, and getting into that tech space now, we're at a space where now we can kind of consult and help other businesses without competing with them. There's not a lot of education companies that get to the $100 million cap. There has to be other levels to what we have, and then we're currently creating our SaaS products now, so that we're testing it with our company so that we can offer it to the public. But I see that for us. Like you said, I see us having our compound here, and I talk about it all the time. But the biggest thing is to be able to see the uplift of our community in ways that we've never seen before, seeing people look at our motto and say, man, this is what Black excellence looks like, where you can see a company that's built by Black folk, that's hiring Black folk and paying them what they're worth, not what they can afford to pay, and showing them how the new corporate America is supposed to be done by collaborative effort of brilliant minds, and being the model company of what other Black companies can be, and understand the importance of working together for an overall goal for what I believe that can change what business looks like. I'm into the space where we want to change how business is done. No more individualism. Let's start to collaborate. Let's start to work together for the overall good of our people.
I love it. I don't got nothing else to say, man. Make sure you follow Jake, Brother Ben X. There it is. We out here. Peace.
Peace.